Basketball, you betcha. I'm back in the gym once again with my friends that I like to work out all the time. Back in the gym with my man Spence. Just like to touch on how he's doing in the season. Not having the same success as he did last year as a freshman. There were more options around him, and now he is trying to figure out how to deal with defenses focusing on him a little bit more, with dealing with a little bit of struggle shooting, which, as you can see here, he doesn't struggle shooting as much, but there have been games where he's had some good ones and he's had some bad ones. So really it just comes down to just understanding, again, new roles, new looks and reads that you have to figure out as you play different teams, to scheme differently when they play against you. And just know that your work is always going to work as you continue to play. You just have to kind of figure out your game and kind of getting your rhythm or your consistency. Pros have that same kind of thing where they go into a bit of a physical slump, but then it's mental as well, right? Because it's all happening to you at one time. So I just think he'll recover and he'll do better as he figures out exactly what he wants to do, as far as what his role is on that team. Looking at our workout, we just worked our simple layups that we normally do, and then that just gives you a variation of everything. Again, if you're new to the channel and just seeing this particular episode first, we just kind of go through a series of layups where you kind of get a feel for everything in the bag of tricks when it comes to being around the rim. One thing I want him to work on is jumping. When he actually lays the ball up, he kind of just throws it up there, and against bigger defenders, that's not going to work. Then we just worked a simple shot fake, one dribble pull up, letting those defenders fly by, using his shooting ability as a strength, and then using that shot fake, right, as a counter move. So your counter moves don't always have to be a dribble move, okay? And so that's what we're doing here with Spence. And again, it's very simple, very easy, not too much to it. And really, when I talk to him about shooting, I let him know that it's not all about catching and shooting. He's going to have to be able to put the ball on the ground. And so we do 2 dribbles as well. You have to go both ways. You have to be able to pull up off of both hands. So again, all these little things are important in the detail of becoming a good basketball player. Now, one thing to consider is how many shots you're going to actually get. So some people don't want to put the work in because they don't get the same amount of shots as let's say the number 1 option or number 2 option on their team. That's okay. The biggest thing for you to focus on is, are you going to make the shots that you get? So as much as we want to complain, we also have to consider the idea of, well, if I'm not the main option, then the time that the main option isn't shooting the ball, am I making the shots? So your job is a little bit harder than the main option since they get to shoot at value. So something to think about, right? And then when you're working out, always remember to kind of hit every area, right? If you're not put in a specific area during the season, or if you're not playing that much during the season, work all areas of the floor and just understand where you need to be successful and get the most amount of shots there before you start shooting anywhere else. I'm sure I said that before on some episodes, but it's always good to send you a reminder, right? A couple things that I had Spencer doing on top of just the 1 dribble or 2 dribble pull-ups is also the counters. So you get 1 dribble in and you kind of glide with it, and then you bring it back. So I had him going through the legs, which is a great counter. But we're doing it where he's almost pulling it back. And it's pulling it right into his left hand for his shot. Just if you have the right momentum in the right rip through and you beat that particular player with that step, you are going to get a pretty good separation on that shot and be able to shoot over the top. Not only get your shot off, right, but being able to shoot over the top of a defender is important, being a smaller player. So that hopefully that's what that counter move will do. We always shoot free throws in between. Like I said in the last episode, you know, even pros shoot in that 70 to 75% range, and it's just a skill that you need to work on. Everybody's not good at it, and for some reason it's a harder shot for most. So it's just a skill that you need to work on, whether it's just a little bit or if you want to put that focus on it more. Okay. Another thing we did with Spence in this particular workout is we worked on separation, right? So we did the pullback on the baseline, and then we did what move would you do if you went in the key, and what is actually going to be effective. So we did our bump, spin back, floater, and then we did a little step back to create separation as well. I told him, you know, don't let me push you. Make sure you make contact and make the release. And you can even wave dribble it so that you have more room. He was more picking it up and trying to like push off. So he wasn't getting a lot of power off of that. So I had to kind of let him understand the balance and why it's important to create more separation with maybe the dribble. But he still did work that move because it might be something that he's going to do naturally. So didn't want to take it away from him while doing that. But other than that, our workout was solid. Like I said, Spencer does pretty much every rep as hard as he can. And so it makes the game easier when he is having success because, you know, he's used to seeing that ball go in. So wishing Spence the best as he continues his season, as I do all of the players that come through here at Basketball U. And it's really about the vision of what do you want at the end of all this, right? We're doing this, but for what reason? And when they can answer that question of what they really want and why they're really doing this, that's when they'll have success. So you ask yourself the same thing as you continue to watch all these different videos here and all over the internet. And remember, someone's always working. Are you?